Round 13 of the World 250cc Motocross Championship comes to Venezuela and Marnicq. Here, the garage of Greg ALBERTIJN, the current championship leader. Just 8 points lead at the moment over second place man, the Belgian Stefan EVERTS. So Greg needing to make sure he gets results here at this 13th round today. Very hot and humid. There is the garage of his main protagonist, EVERTS, number 2 on the JHK Kawasaki. 75 his teammate, Yoki Carlson. Number 3, the Chesterfield bike unpacked of Donny Schmidt. Schmidt injuring a knee at the previous round in America. 79, the bike his teammate of Andre Bartolini. And Bartolini now surrounded by double the amount of mechanics than he normally has. Number 9 there, Edwin Evertson. Hasn't been a good season for Evertson. 1994, he'll look back on it and think, well, where really did I go wrong? Everything being shipped over. There's ALBERTIJN putting on those very valuable knee and leg protectors. The Brit rider here, number 4, Kurt Nickel on the Castrol Honda. And really, Nickel, he's not had a bad championship so far, but I suppose some say it could have been better. Number 12, his compatriot, number 12, Robbie Herring, the Fish, on the WJ's Kawasaki, and it hasn't been his best season, but there is the JHK man himself, Stefan EVERTS, the Belgian, looking for a good result here in Venezuela, maybe hoping to take command of the championship before they go to Japan, the penultimate round. Talon Volan, number 8, the American, led a race in the States. 79, Bartolini, with, as you can see, so many mechanics at hand. Well, if he doesn't do well today, he never will, I suppose. He's got enough hands. There's ALBERTIJN sheltering from the sun. It's very hot and humid here today. And Stefan EVERTS, well, that's a demonstration of how Stefan EVERTS devours his dinner. Alec Wright there, the JHK team manager. Final preparations. A little bit of rejetting of the carbs for the bikes. Having a lot of trouble with carburation. Kurt Nickel looking through on last year's notes. And he's Robbie Herring there talking to team members. It's all about keeping notes on what you did last year. Number 1, the pit of the champion, Greg ALBERTIJN. On go the new tyres, courtesy of Dunlop. Usually they do it with a wonderful little machine. It's all done by hand. Now this is the Robbie Herring's mechanic, Mick Aldous, with a broken foot. Apparently he fell whilst attempting to either get in or out of the swimming pool. We can talk about that one later, I suppose. But there's Stefan EVERTS receiving some treatment on that collarbone of his. It's now 3 weeks since, or 4 weeks now, since he broke that collarbone. He rode in the United States the week before and had a couple of good results despite the injury in the 6-inch pin that he has in that shoulder. Here's the riders sheltering from the heat as they come down onto the line for the start of race 1. Now, you just watch this 5-second board, man. There goes the flag man. Well, he's decided that off the track is the best place to be. Gate drops. Look at this. Olympic Christie, eat your heart out, as they say. Into that first corner, the left-hander. Everybody looks to have got through safely. And it is the Brit Kurt Nickel riding the Castrol Honda. EVERTS there behind him. Then it's BERVOETS, DEMARIA, and now ALBERTIJN. Phantom is behind that crew. There he goes, number 13. But this is a great start to this Venezuelan Grand Prix for Kurt Nickel. BERVOETS, the Frenchman DEMARIA. There's ALBERTIJN, the defending champ. Only 8 points between himself and EVERTS going into this heat. And bearing in mind, EVERTS is now second at the moment behind this man, Kurt Nickel, former 500 World Grand Prix rider. Went to 250s 2 years ago. And this is his second year in 250s. Got the number 4 plate in his first year. That's what I call determination and commitment. But the Belgian, Stefan EVERTS, the younger of the two men, charging in second place. BERVOETS, the Frenchman, then ALBERTIJN after DEMARIA. Phantom is still there behind that group, but Nickel hanging on to this lead at the moment. This has got to be one of the best rides of Kurt Nickel so far this season, but he really is committed. The training pays off, the commitment trains off, and this is where it all comes together on the track. Kurt Nickel, number 4, Everts 2. Nothing separating them but Beverts, DeMaria, then Beverts' teammate ALBERTIJN, and Everts has found a way through. Everts has gone to the lead. It's Beverts, Nickel second, then ALBERTIJN fourth. He's got past DeMaria. So the Frenchman having to put his head down to go back after ALBERTIJN. They really are starting to chop and change places. Everson just gone through there. There's Bartolini. Oh, nearly colliding with Bollet number 14. Bollet, the French Chesterfield runner, and Bartolini, the official Yamaha Chesterfield runner. So not quite teammates, but very nearly coming to grief. And look at ALBERTIJN. He can see those points evaporating. If Everts finishes in front of him, there goes Everts. We're looking back behind Everts, and it is ALBERTIJN now second. So where's Nickel? There's Beverts. Nickel down to fourth. DeMaria behind him as they start to pick off the back markers. But Stefan Everts looking good for 20 points at the moment, and ALBERTIJN desperately needs to do something about this. There he is. Back markers again as Beverts comes through third. And the mechanics, well, how far can they get into the track? Greg ALBERTIJN, the South African, who is off to America racing for 1995. Whether he does or does not win this 250 Grand Prix Championship for the second time, he is off to the States. So ALBERTIJN coming through, number 1. Back markers once again. We're looking back for Beverts and DeMaria, and well, there's Everts. So we've, thinking that ALBERTIJN had gone up, he has indeed now taken the lead. So Greg ALBERTIJN leading. I don't know what happened to Everts. I think they must have had a little coming together somewhere around the circuit, out of our camera's shot, and no doubt that was fraught with all sorts of intentions. But it is ALBERTIJN, the championship leader. He will extend till 11 points if he can win this one. Nickel going through, beginning to drop off the pace. But as they say, it's always good to get the starts. ALBERTIJN then, taking heat 1, 20 points. Looking back for second place man, and is it his teammate? It is Marnicq BERVOETS. And we're looking, there is Everts. Everts coming through, and I'm not wholly sure whether he finished third or fourth. Greg ALBERTIJN gets a good soaking in water. It's very hot and humid here today. And now for the presentation. Well, fourth it was then for Stefan Everts, with the Frenchman Yves DEMARIA finishing third. And I should imagine that Stefan would be disappointed about that. But there's Talon Volan, number 8, coming down onto the line. Out of the shade. It's very hot. The rider's dehydrating quite badly. Third place man then in heat 1. DeMaria. 4 is Nickel. He finished 5th. Beverts, De Witt, and Bartolini, number 79. The only Chesterfield official factory Chesterfield runner here today, with the absence of Donny Schmidt. Heat 2, how quick's that man going to be this time? There he goes. Into that first corner, they drift wide into the grass. Everybody looks to have got through quite safely. It looks like DeMaria. There's Everts and ALBERTIJN, so I think it was DeMaria and De Witt, 1 and 2. Parker just went through. They are sorting themselves out, but it's the Frenchman DeMaria. Everts, but I'm sure that's Werner De Witt sandwiched between them. Nickel is also amongst that leading group. That's a good run for the British rider. Yes, indeed, De Witt. Everts. Then it's ALBERTIJN. Then it's Nickel. Then it's Beverts. Then it was Parker. It is still the Frenchman leading. And ALBERTIJN with a lot of intent. He still has the lead in the championship. Has extended it slightly after the first heat, winning that one and taking the 20 points. But he's got Stefan EVERTS right behind him now. Greg ALBERTIJN just has to keep finishing in front of the Belgian. But De Wit, a fine second for him at the moment. ALBERTIJN fourth for EVERTS. It should then be Nickel. Yes, indeed it was. He flashed through there. You saw the blue jersey, the Frenchman, 77. Yves DEMARIA leading Heat 2 here at Marnicq in Venezuela. And it's BERVOETS chasing the British rider Kurt Nickel. The Frenchman. The two Johnson's BFE Suzuki riders chasing the Frenchman at the moment. De Wit and ALBERTIJN. And De Wit really is putting on the style here at the moment. ALBERTIJN going for gold. He wants to win this second one, I feel. He's not content to stay back there in third place. He wants the 20 points. Nickel coming through, waiting behind Nickel there as the rest of the pack scream through over the jumps. And ALBERTIJN is at the back again. He's been down. Well, this seems to be a trait now with ALBERTIJN. He gets a good start, or gets a bad start, but seems to drop it and have to work his way back up. So that would put De Wit at the, well, it would have put De Wit up a place, I think. Well, there's DEMARIA going through. Well, there is now there's De Wit. It's getting very confusing now. They're dropping all over the place. There's EVERTS. So that would put EVERTS to third, Nickel to fourth. There's BERVOETS and there's ALBERTIJN. That puts him back in about sixth place. And that tyre just not hooking up there on that corner, stuck in the rut. Here's the race leader, DEMARIA. He is making no mistake whatsoever at the moment. Second place man, number 7, Werner De Wit. Third place man, number 2, loving to put the number 1 on that bike for 1995, Stefan EVERTS. Then it's BERVOETS, should be Nickel, yes indeed. And ALBERTIJN still there in 6th. He's got to catch Nickel. Before he goes anywhere, he'll have to catch the British rider. And he will try, that's for sure. Well, in America, ignition problems struck in the second race, putting him out. Let's just keep our fingers crossed that they've cured those problems for the race here in Venezuela. Winning Heat 1, 77 DEMARIA, at the moment leading Heat 2. Johnson's BFE Suzuki man, Werner De Wit. Now it's BERVOETS, so look at this, Stefan EVERTS dropping down to 4th. That's only 13 points. Well, what can you say about this young man? Number 1, Greg ALBERTIJN. Checkered flag then for Yves DEMARIA, the Frenchman. He's elated with that one. Looking back for second, it should be Werner De Wit, number 7. And indeed it is. And behind De Wit, we keep our breaths held firmly. It's BERVOETS. Marnicq BERVOETS taking third and 13 points. Then number 2, Stefan EVERTS, 4th. And try as he may, number 1, Greg ALBERTIJN finishing 5th.